Well, Fox 26 is your Gulf Coast Weather Authority.
That's right, and we are keeping a close eye on all things weather. Here's meteorologist Ramisha Shade.
Yes, we are keeping a close eye on what's happening in the Gulf of Mexico because it could have some pretty big impacts on our weather over the next few days. Still not quite a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico, but we still are tracking potential Tropical Cyclone One, and it continues to spin out there in the southwestern Gulf. 40-mile-per-hour winds moving to the north at 6 miles per hour, and it is expected to make that turn to the west over the next 24 hours, likely gaining those tropical characteristics and becoming Tropical Storm Alberto, and likely making landfall tomorrow night into early Thursday morning right around the northeastern Mexican coast. So you're thinking, it's not making landfall here. Why are we talking about it so much? What's it going to do to us? Well, we are going to be dealing with significant impacts potentially from this because those outer rain bands stretch hundreds of miles away from this system, and the wind field is pretty large as well. So you can expect windy conditions with those spotty downpours, elevated tide levels down towards the coast, and bands of heavy rain that will likely roll in, especially after midnight. So plan on that. Some of you are already getting a taste of some of that heavy rain down around Lake Jackson, League City, and Galveston. We do still have a flood watch in place until early Thursday morning for southern portions of the area. That's where we could expect a higher risk for some of that flooding. Houston has been taken out of that flood watch. I think the heaviest rains will stay south of Houston, likely south of I-10, but still there could be some flooded streets developing in a few spots across Houston, so watch out for that. Heavy rain at this point up towards Huntsville and on Alaska, but I do want to focus on some of that heavy rain down towards the coast, right around Texas City and especially Angleton and Lake Jackson. This is where we do have that threat for some flooding, and I do want to show you where we do have a flood advisory that has been issued for parts of Brazoria County, and this does include Angleton, Hoskins, Port Morris, and Bay Harbor. Notice just over the last few hours, anywhere from 1 to almost 2 inches of rain has fallen for this area. So this is the concern, that as we go through the night, we could have more of these heavy downpours that could lead to flooded streets across Houston and area south. So in Galveston right now, we've got the rain coming down. We've got the wind. In fact, gusts close to 40 miles per hour in Galveston. We've got a high rip current risk and the threat for that coastal flooding. So conditions not great in Galveston. Avoid swimming, avoid the beaches. JD, what's it looking like in Houston right now?
Yeah, we got our tower cam here that is in downtown Houston, but it's pointed to the south, and you can see a little bit of shake here in the camera. That's from those winds that you were talking about. And yes, those darker skies down there, that's going to be some of the rain that's right along the coast as well. So again, with our tower cams, we can see exactly what our radars is showing, along with those wind current conditions as well. So 15-mile-an-hour winds right now in the downtown Houston area. We still have the feels like temperatures quite a bit warmer than what the actual air temperature is. We'll continue to see that. It is June. We're going to continue to expect that unless you happen to have one of those showers that is finding you. And our future cast, you'll notice we see the rains continuing to move in tonight. Mostly it's our coast until we get till after midnight. More likely when it gets to the heaviest is probably going to be in that 4:30 maybe to 6 a.m. So it'll be closer to sunrise than midnight once the heaviest of the rain really starts to move in. And then once the sun does come up, we'll be able to see exactly how much of that rain has fallen and where, and then you can safely move around as necessary. Even though we get into the afternoon, we're still looking at a few heavy downpours finding its way in. The majority of that heavier rain does find its way closer in to Corpus Christi and further over to the west, where they actually need the rain. So we keep the Fox 26 storm alert day for tomorrow, and then we transition to some rain possibilities on Thursday and Friday. Much more manageable, though. We're not expecting to have any sort of conditions where we need to continue to watch for a flood watch or anything like that. And then as we roll into the weekend, it's pretty standard June around here with 30% chance of an afternoon shower and those temperatures in the lower 90s.